All right, let's settle this debate once and for all. This is Garth Mall. This is Darth Brooks. And this is Darth Garth. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. The basketball is good. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Basketball too good, so I got to mention this off the top. How about those Leafs, eh?
Oh, go Buds, go Buds. Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. And last but not least, over yonder, it's the apprentice. It's Eshua Kid.
How y'all doing?
Hey. Man, I think we should just leave your mic on. That would be the move. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm kidding. I'm seeing like it always gives you problems there.
There's a lot going on over here.
I know.
Yeah.
But we got to say hi to you.
Yes,
The
sir.
people got to see you.
You're right.
Especially with this fit you got on.
Yeah, you like
We're
the
playing
fit?
baseball.
Like it?
Yeah. That's good. Shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. Like the vid, comment away, subscribe to No Dunks, and go get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs. We got this new Iverson Sixers era No Dunks shirt and hoodie and all that. So go check that out again at nodunks.com. But we got to get right into it. We have so much NBA news to talk about later in this pod. But last night's games, my God, one of the more entertaining nights of the NBA playoffs so far. And we begin with Jimmy Butler and his 56-point outburst as he just single-handedly wills the Heat to a Game 4 win to give Miami a 3-1 series lead over Giannis and the Bucks. And we watched it on playback, and I can't stop thinking about this game. This takeover here from this guy. Hit me, Butler.
Will to win, you said. It sounds cheesy, corny sometimes, but absolutely that's what happened. It didn't just happen in the fourth quarter. I thought the first quarter was really, really important because the Bucks were showing the will to win. It was a must-win game for them. They came out a double-digit lead. Giannis was looking very good. That's what everybody was saying. Oh, the back looks good. Broke with a monstrous block on Bam, and then Jimmy decided, we can't lose this game. We can't go back to Milwaukee 2-2. And in that first quarter, I know everybody focusing on the fourth, but in that first, he went and dunked right through Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
He scored around Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then jumper after jumper after jumper. He took 8 jumpers, hitting 7 of them. He's just scorching. 9 of 10 in that first quarter. The Bucks were still leading at half by 7 with Jimmy Butler's 24 points. He had 22 in the first quarter. Jimmy had 24 at half, and Duncan Robinson was the next highest Heat player at 6. So the will to win was really important in that first half because it would have been way worse if Jimmy didn't take over. And then midway through the fourth, that 21-point fourth quarter, what was really impressive in the last 6 minutes, they're down a dozen, was just the variety and quality of defenders he was doing it against. He was doing it against Drew Holiday, just dancing on him. He was doing it against Brook, against Giannis, against whoever decided to come at him, and just a ridiculously fun night there in Miami. Him hitting all those shots, 21 points, yelling, "This is my shit," over and over and over again. That was a Jimmy game. We've seen it before in the finals, not quite to this level, but Jimmy can do this. Jimmy's just a special guy. It was a special night.
56 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 19 of 28 from the field. He surpassed LeBron's Miami record of 49 postseason points that he did back in 2014. And yeah, he led the Heat on a 30-13 run here over the final 6 and change of this game. They were down. It looked like they were losing, despite the great game that Jimmy had up until that point. And, some other guys stepped up for the Miami Heat down the stretch. Caleb Martin, Lauri making some defensive plays, Bam chipping in here and there, but it was just Jimmy. He just straight up won them the game. That's nuts.
That's just Jimmy. That's just Jimmy. What can you say on his Gwen Stefani holla back girl? Oh, this my shit.
That's right.
He had 2 20-point quarters against the best defensive team in the league in a must-win game, and then was hitting 3-pointers to put the Heat ahead. That was just an incredible performance. He said playoff Jimmy's not a thing. I just be hooping. Fair enough, but this was a playoff Jimmy kind of game. The thing that everybody's going to remember when his career is over. He's got the Bucks on the verge of being a 1-8 loss in a game that they had a mostly healthy Giannis. I agree with Tass. He looked good in the first half. In the second half, they showed a couple of clips of Giannis walking around looking like he had a back injury, looking like he was sore. I didn't think he was necessarily super aggressive going to the hoop for the entire game. Didn't take a ton of free throws. Obviously passed the ball really well. The big-to-big alley-oop was there all night for the Bucks, but you could tell this wasn't the Giannis that we're necessarily used to seeing, where he's putting his shoulder down, getting to the line, and just living in the lane for the entire night. He was more of a perimeter player in this game, which kind of stuck out to me. And then, if that's the case, Jimmy was the best player on the court, like he has been for this entire series so far. That's why the Heat are up 3-1.
Crazy.
Yeah. He was just literally crazy. That last half of the fourth quarter. It just, even though the Bucks had little sporadic moments, Giannis did have an and one with 3 minutes left. They had a 25-point fourth quarter. They were up 13 points. Jimmy just literally couldn't miss, and he was going to the line. So yeah, it was nice to see him hit threes too, which doesn't happen a lot. Just that one in particular there in the fourth that he had, and a couple earlier. He wasn't to be denied. I mean, that's what it came down to. He took it.
Is this over for the Milwaukee Bucks? Or do you still believe in a Giannis-led team that they could win 3 in a row here against a Miami team who basically everybody picked against? I mean, it was a 1-8 matchup, so you're normally going to do that. But also, we saw them play the Hawks and lose. They didn't look good. And then here they are up 3-1. But do you think Milwaukee can do what's been done before a handful of times? Or is this like, I don't know, with the way the level Jimmy is playing at?
Yeah, somebody's got to help Jimmy win another game here. He can't just drop 50 on you every single time. That's sort of what happened against the Lakers in the finals. He goes and has that 40-plus point game, and he's hanging on the scorer's table, and they couldn't get it done because they couldn't help him. If Giannis is hurt, then obviously the Heat are in the driver's seat. They shouldn't have lost this game to get 62 combined from Brook, who had a monstrous game, 36 from him. They just needed one of Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton to step up, and they struggled. 14 from each of them, 32% combined. So what it comes down to for me is I think they still have a chance. They blundered the game a little bit. They had some bad turnovers in Drew Holiday, just losing the ball with a minute left. Kevin Harlan basically saying, Lauri pickpocketed Holiday. He just lost the ball. What are you supposed to say in that instance? I mean, he just lost the ball. That was just a bad one. He didn't steal that Caleb Martin with a great save out of bounds. Usually the sure-handed Drew Holiday would grab that ball. All that to say, they can play better. There's no doubt. Those guards can play a heck of a lot better. But is Giannis injured? I won't say it's over, but I think there's a chance. There's a chance the Bucks come back.
I don't think the Bucks lose in 5. I think we're at least going to a game 6, but Milwaukee's going to have to play defense. The Heat are scoring at a level right now that would lead the league in scoring, and they were one of the worst offensive teams in the league. They've just been hot from 3. Duncan Robinson is able to stay on the court right now. This is basically happening after Tyler Hero all went out with an injury, and somehow Milwaukee can't figure out how to guard this Heat team, which is something we were saying back in 2021. Why doesn't Giannis ever guard Jimmy Butler? I don't think that'll probably happen in Game 5, as we've seen throughout the years between this rivalry. That's just not the way Mike Budenholzer does things. Also doesn't like to call a timeout. 13-0 run, just let it roll. Weird call there. He's got to be a little bit better, I think, as well going forward. Milwaukee will play their best game, I think, in Game 5, but they got to find out a way to stop a Heat team from scoring that basically everybody stopped from scoring this year. Yeah. It's insane that they're not able to get stops.
Yeah, I guess the good sign is the next highest Heat player had 15 points. So it was just Jimmy, really, when it comes down to it. Jimmy will cool off a bit. In the end, Giannis is injured. Chris Middleton needed to be somewhat of that all-star, and he just wasn't. They just couldn't rely on him to be as good as he is, and that's the worrisome part. Their second star isn't there.
Duncan Robinson has definitely found money for the Miami Heat here in this series. He's like the old cargo shorts you pull out in the spring, and there's like a $20 bill in one of those pockets. They didn't even know he had that pocket on that cargo short, and there's a lot of them, right? That's what he is.
Probably like the original 20s too.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the big face 20s. Because if you put it in your pocket, in your cargo shorts pocket, a $20 bill. That was like in the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were
So they've been
rich.
updated since then. But you're totally right. Duncan Robinson, the fact that he's able to stay on the court. Last night, a plus 15. He hit 3 threes. He's had a good series so far. Caleb Martin gave him huge minutes. Incredible celebration after the save and the 3 in Giannis's face from the corner. The face sucker just grabbed his own face. Very cool to see. But he's playing and giving a really good boost to the Heat. Robinson is good, and Kevin Love has been able to at least contribute and give them enough depth pieces to stay competitive against the Bucks after losing Hero, after losing Victor Oladipo, who was having a good game when he went down with injury. Super impressive from the Heat to pull a season-long rope-a-dope to suddenly play their best basketball in these 4 games against the Bucks.
This is a fun tweet here from Zachary A., who usually chimes in for our No Buffs Survivor podcast, but he tweeted in, idea for today's show, rank the 6 teams down 3-1. Bucks, Grizzlies, Cavs, Clippers, Hawks, and Wolves from most likely to least likely to come back and win their series. And then he goes, I would go Bucks, massive gap, then the Grizzlies, the Cavs, and then a big gap to the Clippers, Wolves, and Hawks. That's the order Zach goes with, sort of agreeing with your idea that maybe Milwaukee could do this. Though, again, the level Jimmy Butler plays at in the postseason, it's like he's going to have 3 chances to have one more Jimmy Butler game. Jimmy gets buckets game, so good luck with that. But I think that's pretty close to the order you would maybe rank them in. Anything?
I would say Bucks
stuck
number
out?
1.
Yeah, that's what he had.
Most likely to do it. The Grizzlies, I suppose, are the number 2, but I really think the Bucks are the only one who could do it.
Okay.
I've got a tiny bit of hope for the Cavs.
Cavs, yeah.
I don't think the Knicks are playing that exceptionally well. Julius Randle has not showed up. Yeah, they need one. And then maybe they catch their flow. But there's a reason they're down 3-1. They're struggling. There's no doubt.
As for like the most points scored ever in a playoff game, it goes Michael Jordan still at 63. I believe he's Jimmy Butler's dad. Elgin Baylor, 61. Donovan Mitchell, remember that? 57.
Bubble.
And then now, Jimmy Butler tied with Barkley, Wilt, and another MJ game at 56. That was the 4th greatest scoring performance in a postseason game we've ever seen last night.
Should have been 57. Hit a free throw.
He missed, I guess, 3 free throws in the end. Though I like Trey with a tweet this morning ranking the 50-point games in terms of just how cool they are or how best they are. You would think, well, hold on, 59 would be the best 50-point game. No, it's not. It's 55.
No chance. 59 is the best possible score you could get in a round of golf. If you get a 59, you're on top of the world, but 55 is by far the coolest looking number in the 50 to 59 range. So for me, it's tops. Us humans are just drawn to these round numbers. 50, 55, like a 57. That's just ketchup, baby. 56, I don't mind. It's a good linebacker number as well. Jimmy Butler plays football style, I think.
What were your top 3? 55.
50.
Yeah.
And then 59. I mean, it's still a lot of props. You're almost at 60.
That's fair enough. Agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I
Wes?
think it's been burned in our minds after watching every linebacker or every big man in high school pick 55 and then 50. I would say 54 or 56 was picked more. Maybe 51 too. Then a 59. I would probably go.
59 is not a
Nobody wants
not a
that.
desirable number.
Nobody wants that.
Trey had the entire list there. He tweeted it out. And my only disagreement, and somebody else had chimed in, I thought you had 51, maybe a little too low.
51's a good number.
51 just sounds cool.
Can't deny it.
So I would have bumped it up a
Very
little
cool.
bit. But definitely agree with 55 and 50 as one, too. It's the coolest.
56 is up there, but a good Daryl Talley by you.
That's a 56 for me as well. Daryl Talley.
yeah, that's the number. One other
anything
thing,
else?
you went through these guys who've had 50-plus point games, MVP level guys, and getting to that MVP level talk after the game, because Ali LaForce post-game asked Jimmy Butler, how'd you like those MVP chants? And he said, nah, I'm not the MVP. Joel Embiid is the MVP. Mm-hmm. How much more in the open can this luring seduction of Joel Embiid be? I mean, when is Jimmy Butler going to be fined for tampering?
Nah, you can't find the players.
That's right.
He's
smart.
He has to be fined. He has to be fined. No. I mean, they're still in the playoffs together.
They can see each other in the playoffs.
Yeah. And he's still trying to get him to Miami. Trey brought it up.
Trey called his shot a while ago. He said Joel Embiid is going to be on the Heat.
And then Embiid immediately tweets about Jimmy Butler. Playoff mother and Jimmy Butler. Get a room. Honestly.
Get a team together again.
I hesitate to even mention this. But Michael Jordan, in his 63-point game, A, the Bulls lost that game.
That's right.
B, 54 points in regulation. That was a double OT game.
Good point.
Donovan Mitchell, 57 points in the bubble. So the Jimmy Butler, this might be the best scoring game we've seen in the playoffs in 60 years. Could be argued. Could be argued.
Hey.
Could be argued.
It's true.
True. We have been swayed in the other direction now. Now we think every point total is inflated, right? And every number is inflated. So we can't. We just think, 56, that's big. It's bigger than anything in the past, but we just can't see things clearly anymore.
Would you bet on somebody in this postseason beating or tying, let's say, MJ's 63 in a playoff game?
Well, Trey brought up Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane could do it, of all people. And then Desmond Bane went and had a monstrous game in the second game we're going to talk about.
I mean, Booker, obviously.
Nah, the teams are getting so smart in taking the ball out of players' hands. Like, Jimmy's was so damn efficient. It just happened so fast. 19 of 28. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, it absolutely could happen.
Well,
the way these guys get to the line, too, that's the part that he gets to the free throw line a ton. Embiid could have a game like that. Hell, Giannis, for all we know, in Game 5 could have a game like that. Like, KD, of course. Yeah, there's a handful of guys that could flirt with this, I think.
Oh,
and you just saw one do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jimmy Butler's not a guy you would have on the list.
No,
to have a 56-point game. This is his third 50-point game of his career. I think he hasn't had one since he was with the Bulls in 2017. And if he's going for 56, it could easily happen. I mean, I think the no would be the favorite. Will somebody go over 60 or get to Jordan 63? But not a big favorite.
Crazy. What a game. Any other notes from the Heat?
Got the face sucker. Got the face sucker.
Yeah, you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. I remember my dad, he's an old man. He used to say, back in the day when they would hit a shot, they would just go right like that, right to the face.
Right.
No Deshaun Stevenson shaking, no John Cena shaking, and definitely not a Caleb Martin face grab.
Yeah.
But it took it to the next level. Great stuff.
We had a
Big
lot of fun
Alien
with
fan.
that on playback. So shout out to everybody that
funny.
joined us last night watching this very entertaining game, which looked like the Bucks were going to be tying it up, the series 2-2, and then until Jimmy said, no. We're going back to Milwaukee with a lead. What a game. Second game on TNT last night, not bad either. LeBron James, first career 2020 line, powers the Lakers to the overtime victory, and they have a 3-1 series lead heading back to Memphis. We have, 3 series where the road team going into Game 5 in the other opponent's barn has a chance to win it here when you include the Knicks there and the Cleveland series. But what'd you think of this one, Tassie?
Awesome game. Awesome support players helping the Lakers get to the line there. In that fourth quarter, they were down. D'Angelo Russell, 3 big threes.
Bang, baby.
That was enormous when Desmond Bane was trying to put this game away. And then Austin Reeves, 45 seconds left, ball swung to him. And a huge drive right to the rim. He's feeling fine. He looks so good helping out. And obviously, a lot of talk about LeBron's drive at the end of regulation to send this baby to overtime. Xavier Tillman, who played him really, really well throughout the fourth quarter, bodying him, but LeBron was able to go by him and not enough help coming fast enough, and Jaren Jackson Jr. just coming just a bit late. Just a bit late. He reached up and LeBron put it way up.
He put it high.
Way up.
Glass.
The slow-mo is gorgeous, hitting the top of the box and it going down. They tried. Dylan Brooks, not sure what he was doing on that possession. If you look back at what the Warriors were able to do against De'Aaron Fox, get the ball out of his hands with Curry and Draymond Green forcing Harrison Barnes to take a shot, feels like what they should have done with LeBron. Just come a little bit quicker to help out both Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane, just watching a little bit too much on that play. And a miraculous performance. I mentioned the support players first, even before LeBron, because Austin Reeves leads this team in scoring. Anthony Davis had 7 points through regulation, and they still win this game.
Yeah.
a testament to all of them. It's unfortunate Desmond Bane's really great game gets, goes for nothing, really. And Morant, tough game, and Dillon Brooks, tough game. You can ask why he's on the floor if he's not guarding LeBron James in those instances. What is he adding if he's not guarding LeBron? And then really tough afterwards where Morant and Dillon Brooks do not talk to the media. Not a good look, IMO, especially when your season is on the line.
To me, this felt like a glimpse into the future because I thought this was the oldest LeBron has ever looked in a game. He was deferring the entirety of the fourth quarter, the 2 points at the end of regulation, whereas his first 2 points in the fourth quarter, it looked like he had zero burst. It looked like when he got into the lane, he was just jumping up in the air, was worried he wasn't going to be able to elevate over Jaren Jackson Jr., and then dishing it out for somebody to try and take a shot the Lakers were not hitting, but then he came through in the clutch and did a whole bunch else outside of trying to score. The rebounding was crazy. 20 rebounds. That's a lot of roast beef in the playoffs. He took 2 charges on Ja Morant. 7 assists as well for LeBron. Not a surprise, but that was to me like, I mean, LeBron's one of the oldest guys in the league already. He's 38 years old, but that's how he will be playing when he's 48 years old. You know, just maintaining his body until the last possible second when the Lakers needed him to score because they weren't getting it from anybody else. D'Angelo Russell had a terrible game, except for when he had 3 straight threes that completely put him back into it. And yeah, the Bane thing is tough because he was on fire for 45 minutes and then went ice cold for the worst possible 8 minutes. Last 3 minutes in overtime, 1 for 5 on pretty good looks. He was scoring efficiently inside, could not hit threes, even though the Grizzlies were getting some pretty wide open attempts for Bane from the corner, places where he's usually money. So tough misses there. But for LeBron to have a 20-20 line on a night when it doesn't look like he has it athletically against an incredible defensive team, that's GOAT stuff right there. That was incredible.
He said, quote, "I've done some pretty cool things in my career, but I've never had a 2020 before, so that's pretty cool, I guess."
Pretty cool.
LeBron James even impressing himself with that 2020 line with all of the rebounds there. And how about the play at the end of regulation where AD gets the block and LeBron splashes the
awesome.
70-foot bomb or whatever the hell it was. It was too late. It was Embiid-like. We had seen that already earlier this year.
It was
but
amazing.
Holy crap, thing goes in. But in overtime, I mean, look, you're just you're starting it all back up 0-0, and they really came out with the aggression there. And then he had the clinching basket against Dillon Brooks, where he just took him to the net, put him in the net, and then flexed on him. He got the and one there. What did you think about the scary falls there from Ja Morant a couple times in this game, and those 2 pretty significant charges called against him where LeBron was the one drawing the charge? And it was, was it? Especially that one. I did not think LeBron was fully there.
I agree.
A little reckless.
Yeah. Coming in late, and then it's happening more and more and more, and this man is jumping higher and higher and higher. We're just going to get more of these falls.
Mm-hmm. I think what Ja's doing is reckless. How are you supposed to defend that if you can't take a charge? He's just flinging his body in the air and trying to draw a foul. You got to be able to do something.
Yeah, but
defensively.
LeBron is late. He's not stationed. He's coming in. The rule is after the upward motion starts. Like, he is coming in after. It's like sliding in under a shooter, but this is a driver, and there's got to be a better way of protecting them. There has to be.
I think it's on Ja to not do that.
Stop driving?
Yeah, stop. Yeah, I mean, kind of flinging his body like that. That's not offense. I mean, that to me, those were both clear charges because Ja was completely out of control. There's got to be some sort of way to defend him because what are you supposed to do? Challenge him at the rim? You're going to get called for a flagrant foul if you go up and knock him out of the air.
Yeah, guys have to jump. I mean, knock him out of the air, yeah. You have to jump straight up. I think that's allowed. I mean, that I think that is the sort of the balance. You won't get called for that.
They couldn't also even look at these because for whatever reason, both of these coaches used their challenge in the first half. It was like 5 minutes to go in the first half. What were they doing? Like, honestly, that's a little weird in a very important game here that the Lakers pull out. But I thought that was strange. But yeah, I mean, a lot of talk about the idea. It's been going all postseason. It feels even through the regular season. The idea of a guy going airborne and then a guy coming in maybe a little too late. And then obviously the drastic fall, and whether or not we want to ban that. It's the charge call. Is he set? Is he leaning? Is he there? I mean, everybody's got an opinion on it. I thought the one, no, and I thought the other one, yes. You're right. It doesn't help Jaw's case that it looks reckless, because it sort of is.
It is, yeah.
So it doesn't help your case to not get that charging call, but also I don't think a guy should be able to slide in under a guy. I don't think that's basketball either. But if they think he's there, they say that's a charge. Yeah, it's LeBron James too. I'm sure that comes into play. Wild ending. This wasn't a pretty game when you think about it, like down the stretch and sort of the play, but the Lakers do enough here. And AD, defensively, like, it would have been interesting to hear if they had lost this game in overtime. Would people have been going in on AD? Like, oh, God, whatever, 10 points. He finished with 12, but let's say they lose and he doesn't score in overtime, whatever. Would people be going, what the heck, AD?
Of course. I mean, he had 7 in regulation. It could have easily be done then. And that's why I don't really have faith for the Lakers to go extremely deep. They just, you can't rely on Bron and AD to do it over and over and over again. I think it's becoming clearer. And they got done a game. They won a game where the Grizzlies shot really poorly. Obviously, the Lakers are scrambling, but the Grizzlies, other than Desmond Bane, who needed to take every shot down the stretch, they didn't really get a good offensive game from anybody. That's it. I mean, the Xavier Tillman was their most efficient guy beside Desmond Bane, who had to take a lot of shots. So the Lakers got by in this one. They obviously scrapped and fought hard, but I don't have faith that they can go deep. I can't see them doing game in and game out.
In 2 LA games, Dillon Brooks, he wound up shooting 7 of 22 from the field, 2 of 12 from deep. Obviously ejected in Game 3 for hitting LeBron in the nuts last night. LeBron, going at him, picking on him a little bit on those one-on-one situations, at least in some pivotal possessions, especially in overtime there. And then he didn't speak to the media after the game.
And 0 press conferences in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he's still trying to find the guy who crashed the hot dog car into the clothing store. You got to back up your trash talk. On the floor would be the best move, but then to at least sort of face the music, and he sort of did avoid that, and then is trying to spin it into like, oh, well, you're making me the villain here. Not a good look for Dillon Brooks. And now, like, you're hearing like Tim McMahon saying like they're trying to trade this guy already, and they're done with him in the Grizzlies locker room. Yeah, it's been a rough week here for Dillon Brooks. Like you said, he felt like it was at the highest he had ever been.
Yeah, he had a great run, trash talking with Shannon Sharp, with Draymond Green, and then he thought he had LeBron. Thought he had him. They won that game without Ja Morant, 1-1 heading back to LA. All he's doing is taking 3-pointers. Box him out. 20 rebounds last night. Like, literally just put a body on LeBron. That was a huge impact. LeBron cleaning the glass the entire night. That's how you win games. Like, that's how you win in the playoffs. This was not a fun game. This was not a well-played game. So you got to scrap it out. And the Lakers were more willing to do that.
Yeah. Also, we talked about Duncan Robinson being found money for the Heat in that series. In this game, at least, Jared Vanderbilt early contributing 15 points. He had only scored 12 in the first 3 games combined. So he actually helped out the Lakers last night there. And Darvin Ham with the quote after the game too. If D'Lo doesn't play the way he played, we don't win this game. It's going to be sort of forgotten, but those 3 threes were massive. I mean, they were down 7. He just rips off 3 threes and then fouls out. And otherwise, it played a brutal game. Otherwise, it played a brutal series. He had been garbage for most of this series. But, this is the playoffs, right? It's like, hey, save us for a couple minutes here. Get us back in it, as he obviously did.
Huge.
So it's nice to hear Darvin Ham point that out. My only final note from this game was, how about Stan Van Gundy sounding like PJ Carlissimo on the call? I thought it was PJ at first.
Brought him back?
But man, his voice was shot and raspy.
Is it pollen season out there in LA? Man, it was stuff Van Gundy.
He was just working too many games. 40 games
maybe so.
14 nights,
a lot of travel, a lot of late nights, a lot of prep work.
He sounded crazy, though. Anything else from the Lakers going up 3-1?
No.
Not as confident in the Grizzlies' chances as maybe the Bucks to come back. No.
Morant's got to score a little bit.
8 for 24 in this one, 1 of 6 in the fourth in overtime, and the hand definitely playing a part in all of this.
For sure. Nice pass, though.
Great pass. Hands.
Yeah.
When he had the behind the back was nice in traffic, where like at that point Ja was trying to play left-handed is really what it looked like. He found Tillman, I think, for the lefty behind the back in traffic, and then that dump off to Bane after LeBron had drawn 2 charges on Ja with him just like screaming to the rim. He was doing it again, had the fast break, but somehow just like boop, little drop off to Bane. That seemed like the game right there because that was such a huge momentum play. He's laying next to the stanchion doing his eye goggle kind of things.
Right.
Felt like it was over, but it was not over yet.
No.
I do have to say, this story coming out of the Lakers camp of the guys on the team letting LeBron down because LeBron had told them, hey, let's get 2 in Memphis. And then they split. And everybody was all, oh, we let poor LeBron down. And LeBron read the room. He said, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We'll take care of business here at home. What a weird story. I guess it was Tristan Thompson, right, relaying this to Jared Greenberg. It's just so funny to me. Oh, we're sorry, LeBron. We didn't win both in Memphis. Man, we
Didn't mean
really
to
let you down
like that.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson's got to pay LeBron back for getting him signed.
Yeah, I guess.
Tell his story.
That's
right. That's kind of right.
Well,
Hype me up, bud.
Oh, yeah. He was just signed.
I will
for
tell
a
your
reason.
story. It's like the guy in the movie 300 with the Greek warriors, right? Well, who's the main guy? I forget the main guy. He's the badass.
Yeah, Leonidas.
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
so. But
right?
then it's the other guy telling the story of him, and then
Yeah, he just stands there.
Tristan
the guy
Thompson
with the
is the Samuel Tarley of the Lakers.
yeah, okay, there's a more timely reference. All right, so Lakers up 3-1, Heat up 3-1. My God, what a playoffs. We got to take a break. And when we come back, a lot of NBA news to dissect, including Ime Udoka going to the Rockets. Don't go anywhere.
What an incredible weekend we had this last weekend, guys. We are right in the sweet spot here in Atlanta. Not too hot, not too humid, not too buggy. You just got the sun shining down. Maybe you got a cardigan draped over your shoulders in a jaunty way. That's right. It's perfect wine drinking weather.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting on that front stoop, dusk descending, swirling a perfectly chilled Pinot Grigio. Is that hints of peach I'm detecting? Great question. Let me consult the handy information card that came with my first leaf delivery. Now, the script is telling me how much I'm supposed to talk about how much I love sharing all this great first leaf wine with friends and family. Yeah, I do not do that. I hide it and I hoard it. It's too good. As America's most personalized wine company, First Leaf takes the guesswork out of wine selection. You just answer some quick questions about your likes and dislikes, and their experts will curate a selection of award-winning wines tailored to your taste, like refreshing rosés, fun sparkling wines, or spring-friendly reds. Not Shiraz, though. Get out of here, Shiraz. They sent me a Shiraz, and I unloaded that one. I did share that one.
Oh.
David and Ray. They loved it. So, win-win.
Well, I hope you updated your first leaf, sort of information.
I did.
No
I
Shiraz,
did.
please.
I threw it. I was like, Rachel likes Shiraz sometimes, but no.
Okay.
No, couldn't do it. You get to choose how often you receive your wine, and every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. And because First Leaf cuts out the middleman and works directly with some of the world's foremost wine producers, you get quality wines at prices much lower than you'd pay at the store. Plus, if you have any questions about your wines, like what to pair them with, First Leaf's certified wine concierge team is there to offer expert advice. I love sharing great wine with my friends and family. No, I don't. I like to hoard it all and keep it for myself, and I know you will too. So give First Leaf a try. Head over to tryfirstleaf.com/nodunks to sign up and save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. That's tryfirstleaf.com/nodunks to save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. Try firstleaf.com/nodunks.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory, I wanted to find out who the heck I was talking about there from 300, the Spartan that I couldn't come up with his name, who told the story. So I typed in blindfolded 300, into my little Google. And the first thing that popped up was gynecologist bowls a perfect 300 game while blindfolded. But apparently it's sports satire. Makes it even weirder. Delios. That was the name of the guy with the eye patch. Fighting alongside the Spartans against the Persians there in the movie 300.
I guess that makes Dylan Brooks Xerxes.
Yes, it does.
Get on your Photoshops, people. Throw an eye patch on Tristan Thompson.
Tell my story. All right, we got some NBA news. Utah Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen has been named the NBA's most improved player. The news came at just past 2 a.m. Tuesday in Helsinki, where Markkanen is currently fulfilling his military service that is mandated for all Finnish men to do before they turn 30. But Lauri Markkanen got 69 of the 100 first-place votes for MIP. He appeared on every ballot. SGA got 24 first-place votes. He finished second. Jalen Brunson got 4 first-place votes. He finished third. But Lauri Markkanen, the finisher.
Was he interviewed? Was he?
Well, they
was
had him
there a
on
quote?
There. Well, yeah, they had him on
they
there.
did.
It was very late.
Oh, that's nice.
Like a tired man.
He looked tired. He looked like he was in a boring room.
Yeah.
They just put him in a gray room.
Had
but
to wake
not a
up
real
at
surprise.
0 to 100 hours.
Yeah. He had to make his bed. So congrats to him. I mean, again, not really a surprise. It was these 3 guys as our finalists. And, Markkanen logged career highs in scoring. Guy averaged 25.6 points per game. Not bad. 8.6 rebounds per game, nearly 2 assists. Got to the line a ton. And he flirted with the 50-40-90 club. 49.9% overall from the floor, 39.1% from 3, and 87.5% at the line. So what a year for this guy who obviously made his way to Utah in that Donovan Mitchell trade.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to separate Lowry and Shea for me because Shea could have easily got it. Both first-time All-Stars, it's nice. 125, 124. One a big who shoots threes, one a guard who does not shoot threes.
Yeah, true.
They're kind of opposites, but kind of the same. But yeah, it's for the voters, it's the unexpected story, which is Lauri Markkanen, versus the good to amazing Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. But maybe he'll get some MVP votes to make him happy. For Shea.
He'll appear on some ballots. End of the ballots, I believe.
Yeah.
Shea will. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is incredible, actually, from Markkanen, and I'm not surprised. He kind of blew out Shea Gilgeous-Alexander here. He improved more. He founded the 200-100 club.
Yeah.
Don't even think about the 100 club. First in NBA history with 200 made threes and 100 dunks. He was in a better system. This is the best system he's played in Utah. Basically 5 out, a lot of room to operate. The ball moves a lot in Utah as well, but also Markkanen just got better as a player. Bulls fans think he learned to just take one more dribble, and that's why he's getting all these dunks rather than trying to fly over guys and make an impossible play. He was just a lot stronger this year, and apparently Will Hardy said, just do what you were doing for Finland. And he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have to just put the ball on the floor and try and be an ISO player every time. I can run, I can catch, I can dunk. It's easy. Simplified.
Well-deserved there, MIP for Lauri Markkanen. All right, this next piece of news, I think caught some people by surprise. Reports from the big heavy hitters of the NBA world, the Houston Rockets are going to be hiring ex-Celtics coach Ime Udoka. Tass, were you shocked by this news? That at least this pairing, because it felt like Nick Nurse was going to be coaching the Rockets, and maybe Udoka was going to be going to the Raptors. That's what a lot of people were believing, and instead, it's Udoka going to go to Houston.
Yeah, I think we were all sort of surprised. So there's the basketball part of things, and then there's the off-court part of things. On the court, I wonder how this is going to work, because it's a young Rockets team, and Udoka is a no-nonsense type of guy. By all accounts, the Celtics players, describe him as sort of a real strict guy that held them to account at all times, and I wonder how that's going to work with the Rockets locker room. They're going to be called out in the media, called out in person, and I wonder how that's going to work. Now, it could work just in terms of the players. He really worked well with Robert Williams and Al Horford and Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Şengün. Could be awesome defensively. Not quite defensive players like Horford and Williams, but it could work. But I wonder how the personalities are really going to jive there.
Well, don't they just need to bring in a bunch of experienced players, vets, to add to the end of the bench or even, some rotation.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty combustible still. I don't think it's going to work extremely well. In the Celtics situation was almost didn't work all that well at first. There was some butting of heads, and with guys like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., I just wonder how it's going to work. Yeah, vets are going to help. Yeah. So I can't wait to see how it all works. On paper, it kind of makes sense, but he also has to come out and explain what happened behind the scenes and come clear with that. They can't just try and sweep it under the rug, which you can sort of see as a possibility, but they have to be open about it. And I know the Nets were almost close to hiring him. If you remember, that it was a wild season. We went through the Nets timeline. They were close to hiring him a month after the Celtics suspended him for a year, and the Celtics players were, almost vouching for him. At first, they were upset that he was suspended, and when he was almost hired by the Nets, they were also sort of hurt. There was a lot of emotions. I think Udoka has to come clean with everything and just talk about it and make a better situation of what happened, because there are a lot of people who are hurt and some lives changed because of what he did.
Yeah, Tass is exactly right. We need to hear from Udoka what happened with the Celtics suspension. We got to hear from Tillman Fertitta about the investigations they would have done prior to the hiring. And something we won't hear is Udoka and Tillman Fertitta addressing the women who work for the Rockets, because surely there are a lot of them who are going to have a problem with this hire, rightfully so. Ime Udoka preached accountability and transparency and then wasn't walking the walk off the court. We haven't heard from him since. We got to hear from him about that, and pretty much right away at his opening press conference. So that's definitely something interesting to watch. On the court, makes sense to me. Like, Udoka was an in-desire coach even before going to the Celtics, had the great run there in his first year, calling people out. The Rockets probably need that. I think they're going to look a lot different next year. They've got $60 million in cap space. We heard so many teams say they need vets in the locker room, so surely that will be part of the team building over the summer. And who knows what happens with James Harden. I think he's more likely to come to a Rockets team if they have a well-known big-name coach like Ime Udoka is. I don't know if it's going to happen, but he's more of a lure than a guy getting their very first shot in the league. So Rockets probably look different next year, and I think the fact that Udoka comes in with an identity, we're going to play defense, and you better play hard or else you're going to get trashed in the media, that's going to help with Houston.
If you've been living under a rock and don't really know what happened with Udoka and the Boston Celtics that led to a suspension there this season, an independent law firm, they looked into it, and they found out that Udoka used crude language in his dialogue with a female subordinate before the start of an improper workplace relationship with her. That's what we know right now, but I'm with you guys, especially the guy that preaches transparency, accountability. They need to right now address this, what happened, what they've learned, moving on, the steps and all of that. And they can't just pretend it didn't. I think that would be unwise. We'll see how the Rockets and him do or at all talk about it. But as a head coach, they wanted a legitimate name. They had said that. The Rockets had stressed that. We don't want someone sort of like an upstart head coach. We want someone to come in here. And the guy's got some coaching acumen. I mean, did take a team to the finals. A team that wasn't doing well, like you said, Tass. They had players calling players out, if you remember. Smart calling out some of the Jays there in Jalen and Tatum, and they all sat down, apparently, led by Udoka, and cleared the air, and then went from there and went on an incredible run and helped out, I think, with Horford in the locker room and stuff like that. So that'll be a big part, too, that Stone will have to bring in guys that are just established players. Not to play 40 minutes a game, but just to help your Jalen Greens and your Smiths and your Şengüns and stuff like that. And maybe Kevin Porter Jr. That'll be fascinating, too, if he can sort of unlock him and make him a real NBA player. He'll get a chance, I think, but we'll see. We'll see what they. I don't know when they plan on talking or when they plan on addressing or introducing him, I should say. But
yeah, it's a good question. Udoka has not spoken publicly since, and needs to do that. He is the opposite of Stephen Silas, really, in terms of coaching. So that it's got to be better than what happened this season, where players, were basically saying, this is a bad locker room, bad situation. And at the end of it all, through the ups and downs, Celtics players were clamoring for the dude. They wanted to vouch for him. They wanted to fight for him, and they were hurt when it all went down.
Mm-hmm. That's why some people, Celtics fans maybe, are a little concerned that this could be Jaylen Brown eventually heading to the Houston Rockets, as that was a guy that's particularly loved Ime Udoka. Also, he gets to go to a franchise here with a strong possibility, I guess a 14% chance, of landing the number 1 pick in Wembanyama. And holy crap, would that possibly turn a franchise around, or you would think so, in a heartbeat. Next piece of news, not so fun. De'Aaron Fox, fractured finger. Doubtful for Game 5. If he does try and play, probably going to have to wear a protective covering there on that left index finger, which you would assume would affect his ability to, dribble and shoot and stuff like that, because he is left-handed. This sucks because this is the most exciting series. Had been fairly healthy outside of the, Draymond Green suspension in one of those games, but now we have our first real injury of it, though he could play in this. And I think, you believe he will, Trey, probably with some protective covering, and see how he goes.
Yeah, it's an avulsion fracture, which is like what happens when the ball hits the very tip of your finger. Sometimes it bumps up and you get a little lump there, like I had on mine. You tape it up. He's going to play. It's going to affect his finger, though, because it is his shooting hand, his index finger. So the ball's going to be feeling weird coming off of it. So, but, it's going to be painful. It's going to get hit, no doubt, during the game. But I assume that Fox will be out there playing, and maybe once the adrenaline gets going, it hurts a little bit less, and he's able to figure out how to play with whatever sort of thing they give him on his finger. I think the key, though, is that they got to start Malik Monk. If Fox is going to be a little bit hampered here, they can't have Fox playing at 80%, Kevin Huerter not able to hit. They're going to need Monk to attack the rim, to be a second side creator, and just take a little bit of the playmaking load off of Fox. So I thought it was something that Mike Brown should consider from Game 5, even before we knew De'Aaron Fox had any sort of injury. But now I kind of think it's a must.
Yeah, it's a good call. And Kevin Huerter has had experience with the Hawks coming off the bench, being sort of in and out of the starting lineup in that 2021 postseason run. So it totally makes sense. Monk may not be as sped up playing beside Fox as he was in those last few minutes where, things look bad. But maybe starting beside him helps out. Fox, got to play through an injury. I imagine the dude's going to play. Yeah. Great conversation yesterday. Matty O brought up why even put this on the injury report if he's going to play. Why even let the other team know about it? I guess things just have to be transparent and clear these days, and that is part of the old gambling game that you got to let people know about the injuries. But Darius Soriano covered the Lakers for a long time. Gave a nice example of Kobe playing through this injury. Same finger, shooting hand, index finger, and Kobe learned how to shoot the ball off his middle finger a little bit more. Just let it roll off his middle finger as the ball was released from his hand. Is he going to have to rework these mechanics for these next couple games? Maybe to some degree. Maybe it's just going to happen naturally, but he's going to play through it. He's going to absolutely fight through it, I imagine.
He continued to play in the game after he did this fracture, like sort of midway through the fourth there, hitting his finger off of Looney, really, after the whistle was called. Hit a jumper, hit, I believe, a free throw or two. Hit that three, obviously. But people will say, that's like, your adrenaline's pumping, you're in a huge game. Now you take a couple days off. Does the pain set in? The discomfort, does it swell, and all that? So we'll see how it affects him. Hopefully he at least plays in this game. This guy, in this classic series, Fox is averaging 31.5 points per game, 6 boards, 7 assists, and 2.5 steals. He's been by far the Kings' best player. He's been easily one of the top performers in the postseason. Like, if we were making the, all-NBA playoff team right now, he's probably on the first team. How special he's been, or he's at least one on the first or second team. So this will be interesting during the regular season. If you care about this, the Kings were 4-5 in games played without De'Aaron Fox. But hopefully he gives it a go, and they don't play until Wednesday night in Sacramento, and that series all tied up at 2 games apiece. Someone who will not be playing in Game 5, Dejounte Murray. The NBA suspended the Hawks guard for Game 5 tonight of that series against the Celtics for making inappropriate contact with and verbally abusing a referee, and we showed you this yesterday. The incident occurred in the closing seconds of Sunday's game as DeJounte walked off the court in defeat, stepping to the official, bumping him. I guess he had some words for him as well, the league says, and gets a game for it. Not surprising.
Not surprising. Does that fan get paid for that video he took of Dejounte
That's
Murray
interesting.
bumping the official?
That's
That's the video that's being shown around.
Very true.
He went at him. There's no doubt. I wonder if Dejounte Murray even flew to Boston. To me, you're saying this series is over by losing your cool like that, and being down 3-1. It's partly. I guess that's what it is. It's just losing his cool. I don't think it's him deciding I'm going to Cancun, but it's him. I guess knowing in the back of his mind. I mean, just a whole bag of sadness there. What happens with this Hawks team going forward now? I wonder what's going to happen with the changes that happen in this offseason. Dejounte Murray's got one more year on his contract. They gave up so much for him. They going forward with Trey and Dejounte as their two guys, max money type guys, because they're going to have to extend Dejounte Murray. Bad ending, because this is the end. Because Dejounte, you mentioned the best playoff performers. Dejounte has been fairly solid for the Sox team. He's been pretty good. I know there's been some helter-skelter shooting, but he's been reliable to some degree. So now it's over.
Yeah, well, any thoughts on this? This intentional contact there sort of triggers that automatic suspension.
That was an obvious suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have gotten or at least a fine for just the verbal assault afterwards too. The way he bumped him, and then it was, I'm going to the other ref and yelling at him. So yeah, pretty unsurprising that Murray ended up getting suspended. But Tass is right. He's maybe been the Hawks' best player so far in this series. 25, 7, and 6 assists, 2 steals. He's shooting 45% from the field, almost 40 from 3. He's been really good. He was instrumental in the win they got, making shots down the stretch with Trae Young. Not to mention, the Hawks have played 9 guys total in this series. They don't have a very deep team right now. Bogdanovich really struggled in Game 4. Big game from DeAndre Hunter. I guess Bogdanovich probably gets the start. Maybe Bay if they decide to go a little bit bigger. But not great options for Quinn Snyder, which is not a surprise when your second best player goes and gets himself suspended.
Have you seen the other clip from this game that I know Hawks fans were sharing and saying, hey, what about this, of Jason Tatum bumping an official, frustrated with a call or a non-call there, and sort of like going by him? Have you seen this clip going around? Yeah.
Trey's gonna pull it up real quick.
I mean, he makes contact with the official. It's different than this one where Dejounte is obviously visibly upset and is like stepping to him. This is more like, I guess you can almost call it inadvertent, but
we would have already
saying,
seen.
what the hell, man? He hit him. He made contact with him.
He
does.
He made forearm to stomach contact. Yeah. Perhaps a little bit of an extent.
I know.
Could have been an offensive foul in the regular season, maybe not in the postseason.
The ref should have flopped. Should have sold it.
I actually agree.
Would have got the call. Would have got the call from the other official. But anyway, no Dejounte Murray, and I don't think it would have mattered if he was playing anyway, because the Celtics are going to win this game and wrap up this series. Because they're just a better team.
Also true.
Yeah, sad but true.
Is true.
We got to take one more break. When we come back, tweet of the night. Don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, our next partner is a product I use daily, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is just 1 scoop in a cup of water for better gut health, more energy, and a stronger immune system. No more multivitamin pills for this guy. You know how happy that makes me. And no stanky pill taste either. Don't like that. Who knew vitamins tasted this good? It's true. I go water first, scoop second, which reduces powder in the air. I froth mine, and I've recently got a new frother. It's so powerful that it leaves a layer of foam at the top, though. It's more powerful than my previous frother. It's a different texture in the glass. I might go back to the old frother. I've used AG so long, I have frother preferences. So what is this stuff? With 1 delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. That's how I start my day, first thing in the morning. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every day to take great care of yourself. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. It's kind of like No Dunks. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. seems a little early for that. But anyway, it's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Good night of basketball last night.
Great night.
Us fans enjoyed it, and some fans enjoyed it in Los Angeles as well. So here's a couple of great fan moments from last night in LA. The first one comes from Basketball Poetry. Some good fan energy right here. Wow. For these 2 Laker fans who were sitting courtside on the same side as the cameras, hood up like Kevin Garnett on the back of the head. The guy's just doing a lot of wacky arm moves,
Yeah.
I guess you would say. A real Anderson Varejao type.
Yeah. Like inflatable thing outside of a
Yeah, a little bit.
gas station, whack inflatable arms guy. That was awesome.
I do like to see those courtside fans getting into it.
Yeah, those guys were standing quite a few times. Hood guy and hat guy. I guess I would probably call them. They'd probably get names if the Lakers go on to lose that series and Josh like pointing at him or something like that.
Like purple shirt guy with Dwayne Wade.
Exactly. But it ended up inspiring the Lakers. So, well done. New Laker bros for this season. The other one are a couple of Laker bros who have been around for a long, long time.
Oh, God.
Jimmy Goldstein and Flea sitting courtside.
Jesus.
Are you more of a Jimmy or more of a Flea?
In this photo?
You're wearing a crocodile fedora or gigantic orange bug glasses.
I think I'm more of a Jimmy watching these late games. That's how I look when we get to around midnight.
Yeah.
Essentially overtime.
That's a good point. If this were actually flipped, it's like beginning of the night at the playoffs, just grinning ear to ear. By the end of the night, you're just hoping to stay up.
Yeah, man. Wow. Fuck, these guys look old.
These guys love basketball, man. These guys are sickos.
Jimmy is the ultimate sicko, and Flea loves his Lakers, obviously.
Yeah. That's a nice hat, though.
That is a nice hat.
Love to see that on Mo Verney.
It's too big for his head, I think. I guess Jimmy's probably got a small head, but that's just a lot of hat. I've only seen Mo in small hats. I'm definitely more of a Jimmy sitting down.
Yeah?
Just because Jimmy's sitting down to watch these games. I'm not standing like
I'm
Flea.
lying down, I'll be honest, for a lot of these second games.
You're asking for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
But big old pillows propping me up, right? I can't be like straight back with my head all over. I gotta be.
How big are these pillows, man?
Huge throw pillows. Huge. Got a couple of them. Like it's like I'm in a chair. I'm in a recliner, but it's my bed. But I do like the Bluetooth AirPods linked with the TV. Just like keeps me more
you're
engaged.
watching on TV.
Yeah, my wife's lying
AirPods
asleep
in.
right beside me. Yeah.
I just thought I assumed you were like on phone.
No.
Isn't it bright?
Yeah, she wears
Night mask.
the
There
eye
you go.
mask. Yeah,
There you go.
sounds good.
Nice. Cool.
But yeah, that's
Should give her Flea's glasses. Those were some shades.
Adam Sandler also in attendance.
Ooh, very neon zip up or whatever that was.
He looked great though, I thought. I mean,
did.
obviously the neon was quite vibrant, but not a lot of gray for Adam Sandler. That's a guy you would think would be going gray already, but he's not.
And if we're
Just
speaking
some
of
Adam Sandler thoughts.
celebrity fans,
Basketball keeps him young.
Yeah, I guess so.
speaking of celebrity fans, just to go back to MSG Game 4, did you see that Pete Davidson is now dating Jon Stewart?
Because they're sitting beside each other?
Yeah. I stole that joke from the internet. I saw it on Twitter. I laughed. That's pretty good.
It's an odd combo.
I would have definitely liked that.
Game previews tonight. We got 3 Game 5s, and they could all end tonight. Hawks in Boston. That one, 7:30 on TNT. Boston up 3-1, obviously. Wolves in Denver. That's your NBA TV game. Denver leads at 3-1. They could finish it off. And the Clippers at Suns, 10 o'clock TNT. Suns up 3-1. Which series? Actually, you know what? Rank them. Series most likely to end tonight to maybe being extended to another Game 6. Task, get us started.
Ending tonight.
Yeah.
Nuggets, Wolves. It's over.
That series is over.
At NBA TV. I'm going to be listening to Matt Weiner and Brendan Haywood, if that's who's on the call, I'm guessing. This series took a bit of a...
I believe they've given it to... Doesn't Grant Hill and Spiro have that one? I guess they switch it up, but I feel like they let them...
Yeah,
I think
you're
they
right.
are. I think they are.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because you're totally right, because Weiner and Haywood did the NBA TV game for Clippers Suns.
Yeah.
And I know that.
Cedric Court.
And I know that because Weiner said Chris Paul took a serpentine route to get to the elbow. And this series, the Nuggets series, took a serpentine route to get to 5 games. But
we could have this could be a gentleman's win here tonight, a gentleman's sweep for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that first.
That's done.
And what about the other two? You believe a little bit more in the Hawks and the Clips?
No, the Hawks are done. But I do believe in the Clippers to some degree.
Okay.
That fight, they've shown fight again through 4 games without their stars.
They're close.
And no Kawhi again. Yeah, it's difficult to say that it's going to go on, but I do have belief in their fight. Ty Lue's teams will not lay down.
I would rank it, though, Celtics most likely to win Game 5 tonight. Then I'll go Nuggets. But it's very tight, 1-2. And then I'll go Suns. But I actually think all 3 wrap up tonight.
Yeah, I kind of
fair.
agree with you. I had to change the question to which series is most likely to be extended. Yeah. Because then, maybe you can make a pitch. Which seems most realistic here? The Celtics don't shoot 40% from 3. They've shot 40% from 3 in every game so far.
Okay.
And the best perimeter defender for Atlanta will not be playing tonight.
That hurts.
You could have a cold shooting night, though. It happens. How about Anthony Edwards goes for 50 and we get a good game from Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
Edwards has been rolling.
Could squint and see it, yep.
Or the Clippers could hit 23s and the Suns hit 7. That seems most likely to me. Of those 3 scenarios, the Clippers getting hot from 3, they have played solid against the Suns. They're just obviously at a talent deficit with no Kawhi, no Paul George. But they like the math. They like to shoot 3s, and perhaps they could get hot. So I guess I think the Clippers are most likely to extend the series. But I'm with you, Skeets. I think it's 3 Jovers tonight.
Okay, let's hear from everybody out there in the stream team listening to the podcast later. Let us know how many of these series wrap up here tonight in Game 5. Make sure you subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Really appreciate it. If you're a podcast listener, leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. We are back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern to recap these 3 games and whatever other NBA news comes our way this afternoon. And it's coming fast and furious. Actually, we have another award winner tonight. I assume it's rookie going to Paolo. But that's all that's left. Rookie and MVP, right? Yeah, it must be rookie tonight.
Like Zach.
Exactly.
Forgot about that.
Done a pretty sly job of slipping in clutch player of the year right away into the major awards.
Oh yeah, totally.
They're just like, this is an award now.
Didn't
a major
save
award.
it. Just in the mix.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I guess
act
so.
Act like you've been there to the award.
I mean, it is clutch. It's a clutch award. It's coming through. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us here. We will see you tomorrow morning. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, a cat has 9 lives, but a cat on the basketball floor has only 6 fouls.
Embrace the day, people.